Good evening, I'm Graham Kennedy. Ken Sutcliffe and I bring you the news, coast to coast. Ken, is there any news fit to see this Friday evening, the 23rd day of September, 1988?
Graham, tonight, swimmer Duncan Armstrong wins another medal for Australia, this time a silver in the 400 metres, and all of Melbourne in the grip of VFL Grand Final fever.
And here we are in Melbourne tonight. What about that? Look, that's terrific. Ken, might be interesting to do a little survey. Who's for the Demons? Okay. Who's for the Hawks? I tried to find this loophole in the VFL code where St Kilda could play tomorrow, but I still have my solicitors working on it. But up to now, Ken, how are you enjoying your trip to Melbourne so far?
Wonderful. Everyone is so hospitable. And I was most impressed by the band at the airport this morning. It was great. And the red carpet.
And the red carpet, you enjoyed that. And what about don't forget the motorcycle escort,
Yes.
Ken, that was good. Ken and I had a motorcycle escort. Truly, all the way from Tullamarine to Richmond, we ran between two big Hondas. I was standing outside the Menzies at the Rialto where we were staying, and this Darrow came up to me and asked me if I could give him $51 for a cup of coffee, and I said, a fair go, a cup of coffee's only $1. And he said, yeah, I know, but coffee makes me sexy too. And here's sexy George Danikian in the newsroom in Sydney with the latest.
Graham, sports news in Pakistan is batting in the second cricket test against Australia at Faisalabad. At tea, they're 5 for 182 with Ijaz Ahmed 90 not out. For Australia, the best performed bowler, Tony Dodemaide, has taken 3 wickets. An update of the news a little later in the show. Now, back to the studio.
George, if you're still listening, we haven't had an opportunity to do this because mostly you're there live and we're a little recorded, but tonight we are live. Can you hear me, George?
You and the whole audience.
George, I went through life believing that your origins were based in Greece. I'm told that you are Armenian. Is that correct?
Well, actually, it's a bit of both. The parents are born in Athens, in Greece, but the name is very Armenian.
That's good, isn't it?
Best I can give you.
George, one more thing.
Sure.
Get off. It's the big game coming up this weekend. Melbourne plays Hawthorn for the VFL Championship. Here comes an in-depth, incisive report or a load of ill-informed rubbish, depending on what team you barrack for.
The quiet, calm, almost serene atmosphere at the MCG belies what's about to happen here. It's the anticipation of that kind of excitement that attracted thousands of people into the city today for the grand final parade. Several dozen open-top sports cars lined up in tandem as the teams prepared for the procession. Under sunny skies, the players appeared relaxed as the entourage moved off from Parliament House. But the fans were making some serious predictions.
I'm sticking with Melbourne. Of course, we'll pull it out.
Would be better if Carlton were in the grand final.
What sort of emotions do you think it will arouse amongst people?
For us, it's frightening.
The parade moved steadily down Burke Street, and players from both sides drew predictable reactions from the crowd.
George, all the greatest people got. Keep your eye on the red and the blue. Oh, very good.
The parade ended in front of thousands of lunchtime shoppers in the mall.
Less than 21 hours before the balls bounce, staff here at the MCG are amid final preparations for the massive influx. And with a crowd of up to 100,000 expected, almost 600 people will be needed just to man the gates.
But today it was the enthusiasts putting in the elbow grease to ensure their teams run onto the field in the highest possible spirits. Demons fans don't often get the chance to decorate the team's dressing room for a grand final, and today there was no skimping on the red and blue bunting and balloons. Next door, Hawks supporters had just about finished preparations, but then they've had a lot more practice. Around town, footy fever was never far away. There were colours above the checkouts. One slogan was emblazoned across a backyard. And at Blackburn, a factory was pumping out Melbourne flags by the thousands. Demons fans hope that by this time tomorrow, they'll be waving them in victory for the first time since 1964. Nick Whitehead for Graham Kennedy's News Show.
You have no idea, Ken, how many people are in Melbourne this evening. I mean, half the country is here. The other half is in Brisbane, appearing at the Fitzgerald inquiry. No, truly, it is truly so chocker in the city, you have to go to Geelong to change your mind. The lift was so full at the hotel tonight, if it had been any smaller, it would have constituted adultery. Truly. Melbourne has become so overcrowded that there are boat people leaving for Vietnam.
A smiling Duchess of York arrived this morning on her first official visit to Australia. Fergie looked happy and relaxed after a long flight and was whisked away to Admiralty House, where she probably phoned Andrew, who's babysitting Beatrice.
Private holiday or not, there was nothing very private about the royal arrival early this morning at Sydney Airport, with police and security men outnumbering the crowd in the terminal 2 to 1 and more cameras at the ready than on a Japanese tour bus. Sydney's worst-kept secret was blown, and the barricades quickly filled with eager Fergie files. But at the appointed time, all that emerged was a procession of trolleys stacked with bags and gifts. The label's proof that even royals take precautions against losing their luggage. 20 minutes later, the Duchess breezed in. With a busy program of formalities still ahead, Fergie decided against her trademark walkabout, smiling and quipping to answer the well-wishers.
Thank you very much.
While she's been here before to visit her sister, it's Fergie's first official trip as Duchess of York. It's also her first trip away from Princess Beatrice, who's being cared for by nannies at Buckingham Palace. The Duchess will team up again with husband Andrew on Sunday when he arrives in Sydney by chopper from the British warship Edinburgh. But until the Duke of York arrives on Sunday, Fergie will probably stay here at Admiralty House. Officially, it's a private holiday, so what she does tonight and tomorrow are officially secret. This morning, while police kept vigil from above and security men patrolled the grounds, photographers and cameramen guarded the gates. After a nap, it was nearly midday before Fergie ventured out for a stroll. First to test the water in the pool, then for a pensive look over the city in which she'll hopefully relax until early next week. Russell Bishop, Graham Kennedy's News Show.
That's my street. That Admiralty House is along there, and then I'm just there. No, I am, where I live in Sydney.
Ah, right. Yes, it is, too.
What did you mean about... I didn't understand about...
Well, the North Sydney Council, they had a bit of a fight with the government over who picked up the garbage from there because they didn't...
From
like
Admiralty House?
Yeah, and from the Prime Minister's residence.
So what happens to... what?
It just sits there and rots.
They gift wrap it and send it to the Brotherhood of St Lawrence.
Something like
Admiralty House garbage. Didn't she look wonderful, though? In those wonderful sunflower colours. She looked like a sunflower. Pity her figure's like a cactus, but that's beside. Hey, good evening. Yes. All right. It is different tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because we're in Melbourne. We're at GTV 9 in Studio 9, which was built originally to house a variety program. So we have a larger audience. Ken and I aren't used to it. Our timing is absolutely cattled, and but we're thrilled for you. While the great train robber Ronald Biggs, he worked here, you know.
Did he really?
Yes, he did.
In accounts?
No. No, he was one of the carpenters. You've heard those. Close to you. You know that song.
Oh, yes.
No, he built my dressing room. While Ronald Biggs lives in exile in Brazil. His 14-year-old son, Michael, has arrived in London. Michael has a polite letter which he hopes to present to the Queen, asking for a royal pardon for his dad. My God, I hope they bolt down the silver, I can tell you that.
The scene, London's Scotland Yard, and Biggs was back. For obvious reasons, not Ronald, but Mike Biggs, his 14-year-old son, back to do what his dad can't, ask the Queen for a pardon. Biggs would love to leave Rio, and guess where he wants to go?
Well, he likes Australia very much. The time, I think it was about 5 years he lived there, and he liked the country enormously.
Sitting next to his mother Raymunda today, Mike Biggs didn't try to downplay the seriousness of his father's crime.
He needed the money. Okay, it was, you know, something. Why it wasn't right. But, you know, I think that now after 25 years, he's an honest man now.
And Michael would also like to travel to Australia.
Yeah, I got 2 brothers in Australia. Maybe I'm going to say 1 year in Australia.
There's a call from a few Conservative politicians. Definitely no pardon for Ronnie Biggs. As well, they want young Michael deported immediately. Robert Penfold for Graham Kennedy's news show in London.
Here's good news for people over 40. There's no need to feel that you're only good for the scrap heap and past your prime. Last night in Brisbane, rock and roller Mick Jagger proved that even at 45, he can still deliver the goods and leave the fans yelling for more.
Back in the wicked 60s, Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones were the people your parents warned you about. But as the sun sets on the insipid 80s, Mick and his audience are middle-aged parents too.
I just sort of think he's a bit of a legend and come along and see a legend.
Is it the body or the mind you're after?
Oh, I'd say both.
Thank you.
Mick Jagger's Mick Jagger.
For a pre-show dinner in sophisticated style, we're better than the Ent-Cent stunning Stars Cafe. What is it about Mick that turns you on?
Oh, well, I wouldn't say he turns me on. I think he's a pretty good bloke.
It's good to look.
What is this? Pension day at the Twilight Home?
To play the Casanova, faster than a roller coaster. Learn to play the Romeo, but never need a heart to go to.
Love it. Excuse me, Jerry? Jerry.
Love like this is much better together worldwide. Love like this is much better together worldwide.
I suppose just I'm a real rock and roll fan and...
Hoping for a favourite number tonight?
Definitely.
Which one?
Jumping Jack Flash.
So did that grab the grannies by the grey and curlies?
It was wonderful. Wow. Fabulous.
Then we were off to join Mick and the band at Transformers nightclub for an all-out exclusive jackboot interview. Excuse me, Mick. Did you enjoy yourself this evening?
Yeah, it was very good.
Enthusiastic audience?
Yeah, pretty good.
I have just been going through some... nothing has changed in Melbourne. We give the audience pieces of paper to fill in and pencils. Did you all get a pencil? Yeah. Does it have Graham Kennedy's news show? Yeah. But I must I've just been going through them, Ken, and not all of them are savoury. We'll get to them later. Do you enjoy Mick Jagger?
Oh, I think he's great.
Do you really?
Yep, sure do.
I love the way Mick Jagger struts. No, really, his bottom always looks like it's chewing a suppository. I might tell you, I say that without knowing totally what a suppository is. A couple of years ago, the doctor prescribed for me some suppositories, and by jingo, they're difficult to swallow. No, for all the good they did me, I may as well have stuck them up me. That's another story. Diminutive all-rounder Mickey Rooney was born on this day in 1920. Even after all these years, he's still probably best remembered for his Andy Hardy movies. Although small in stature, he was not afraid of heights and married Ava Gardner, among others. As a matter of fact, every one of his wives was taller than him, and he often accused his best man of putting him up to it. The 23rd of September was a good day for singers because on this day in 1930, the father of soul music, Ray Charles, made his first appearance. One of his most famous songs glorified the state of Georgia, although, unfortunately, he's never seen it. Ray Charles was the first to make sunglasses fashionable, even though he could never remember where he left them. Another birthday today for the 45-year-old Latin heartthrob Julio Iglesias, who many people think is a singer. With his olive complexion and smouldering eyes, he is the thinking woman's Ken Sutcliffe. Although adored in Latin countries for many years, he achieved worldwide fame after duets with such stars as Willie Nelson, Diana Ross and Stevie Wonder. In fact, Julio has sung duets with just about every singer except Jack Herbert. He was put up for the lead in the movie Grease, but was knocked back for being over-lubricated. No, some women find me very, very sexy. Just this afternoon, outside the Menzies at the Rialto, a woman told me that she thought I was the sexiest person on television ever.
How did you react to that?
Well, I gave her a little kiss on the cheek and patted her guide dog. It was a Labrador. You wouldn't like, no.
And now tonight's main stories again. Barbara and Laurie Armstrong are celebrating their son's second Olympic medal in less than a week. The 20-year-old Brisbaneite now has a silver medal to go with the gold he won for his startling 200-metre swim on Monday. In tonight's 400 metres freestyle, Armstrong touched just 0.2 of a second behind the East German Uwe Dassler. That's the news for this moment. Now back to the studio.
That was George Danikian keeping us up to date with the very latest from our Sydney newsroom. We're in Melbourne tonight.
A lucky few athletes will come home from the Seoul Olympic Games with the gold, silver or bronze medals. But many of the less successful competitors will have other souvenirs of their Korean experience and the friendships formed from around the world.
While the athletes strive for gold, silver and bronze,
It's the right colour, that's what counts.
there's another race for medals going on in Seoul.
Let's see what we got this month.
Well, not for medals exactly, but pins. Those little souvenirs denoting the countries, sponsors and media organisations connected with the Games. Anyone can get into the pin race, and almost everybody does. It's a swapping game, and the trade is feverish.
KBS, yeah, you're going to have to cough up 3 for that one.
Some have had a head start in the race, like this man who's been collecting pins since the '76 Montreal Games.
Do people describe you as being a pinhead?
I've been called that. There are a lot of pinheads around.
There are indeed, but others not only wear them, but hoard them.
Will you carry a whole bag full of pins?
We're the pin manufacturers.
Oh, you're the pin manufacturers? Oh, wow, so this is the showroom on top of your head, is it?
Pins are the currency of the Olympics.
Some crazy Americans are paying $20 for pins.
We're looking to trade pins for some T-shirts and hats and glasses, maybe.
Pins can even get you discount shopping. Give one to a cabbie and your trip will be faster. Dedicated pin swappers go past no one.
I'll trade you this pin for this one right here.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I cannot exchange it.
The security men mightn't swap, but they do accept gifts and return a favour.
I haven't got a ticket, but I'll give you one of these. Can I get to the stadium? Okay.
Stephen Fenley in Seoul, Graham Kennedy's News Show.
Have you ever collected things, Graham?
No, one dog sick and another one pushing you to hospital. No.
Hey.
No, I haven't. Only Logies. Ken and I feel so... We can admit this to you. Ken and I feel so lonely, not because... I mean, we certainly don't feel lonely here in this Studio 9 at 22 Bendigo Street, Richmond 3142. We don't. But we feel lonely... and Robbo would feel lonely tonight because the Olympic Games on 10 we think would attract all viewers. We certainly won't win next week. Not a soul would be watching us because they're all watching Soul.
Are you really into the Olympics?
Oh, what is the Pope Polish? I know everything about the Olympics.
All right, I'll name the year and you name the venue. Right?
No, hang on.
I'll name the year, you name the venue.
Okay. You can try me now.
All right, you right?
Yeah?
1956.
Ah, Melbourne.
Right. 1960.
Rome.
Good. 1988.
Ah, Seoul. Yeah. No. You can get it selling, you can get it buying. You can even get it when the market drops and you're crying. A big coal thirst needs a big coal finance report. Matter of fact, I've got one now.
Renewed interest from local and overseas buyers gave the Australian share market a much-needed boost today. The All Ordinaries Index finished the week nearly 10 points higher after suffering badly with the falling gold price. London is trading lower. The Tokyo market is closed for a public holiday. The Australian dollar is marginally up on yesterday's close, but more than a cent lower than it was this time last week. It firmed in line with the slight recovery in the gold price.
This is our 100th news show, and no, you don't have to do that. But oh, if you want. We have a larger audience than the one we can accommodate in Studio 1 at TCN. Tonight the program is coming to you from Melbourne, from what is called Studio 9, which was built to house a program I used to do a long time ago, Ken. It's a very big place, and for that reason we have a wonderful audience tonight, who I hope didn't pay to get in.
There was some black market tickets.
Was there some scalping?
Yes, there was some scalping.
Heavens above. Anyway, we supplied them with a chit. You know, we make them laugh, they give us the chit, and a news show pencil, and they've written things for us. We watch your show all the time, and I would like to know how you can get away with being so crude. I didn't know that I was crude. Graham, can we have more of these nights in Melbourne? We'll try, next year particularly. Great show. Finally, we've got to find out why everyone is laughing when you come back from the ads. You know why, don't you? Yes. Please come back to Melbourne. Ken's nose isn't that big. Oh. It's not either, is it?
Ah, it's just right.
Stand up, Ken. No. I remember watching IMT as a child, enjoy your show immensely, except when you kissed Panda. Then I was so filled with jealousy I hated you. Panda was not one of those funny bears.
I was just going to say.
No. Panda was a girl we had, and she was lovely, on a wheel.
What show on IMT?
That would be IMT, and I think going into Graham Kennedy shows. It's so long ago I've forgotten. Panda is in Las Vegas, I believe. She married Jimmy Allen, who was with our orchestra, and she is now a recluse in Las Vegas. Well, I think she's about 100. Can we please take Yana from the foyer wall?
Yeah. Yana was here tonight.
Can we please take Yana from the foyer wall?
I think there's somebody who fancies Yana and wants to take the big photograph and put it in the bedroom of their home. I think. Is that right?
Oh,
yeah.
We all fancy Yana. There's more to this. What do koalas and chainsaws have in common? No, you can't do that. There's a word there. How come Ken Sutcliffe's photo's not out on the wall? Yes, why is that? Why doesn't GTV? Can't fit in there.
It's out there. It is out there.
Graham, why is it so blizzardly cold in Canada where lives depend on stopping cough squeak? That's fun. You've got to be 100 to know that. Remember there was a radio ad? In blizzardly cold Canada, where lives depend on stopping coughs quick, Buckley's Canadian. I'm glad I did that. What do you find up a clean nose? Fingerprints. Isn't that disgusting? Who wrote that?
Nice person.
That is disgusting. Remember the disgusting one we had there? What was that terrible? Sydney audiences. What was the one? What would it take to reunite the Beatles? And the answer was 3 bullets. Disgusting. From the studio audience. What's the rudest joke you've ever got away with on TV? I can tell you this, the network wasn't too amused.
About this time last week.
About this time last week. We were doing a joke about a Red Indian brave. And they weren't amused. But I suppose the rudest would be... I can't remember. How long is it since you last performed in this studio, Studio 9? I imagine 1975, but I would have been a guest on... since then, I would have been a guest on one of the Don Lane shows, I would think. You remember Don? What school did Graham go to? I know, because I went there in 1927. Well, why do you need an answer? Caulfield Central and Melbourne High School. Graham, could I please take Ken home? Certainly not, he's mine.
No, thank you.
Don's Party is one of my favourite films. Does the character you portray represent your lifestyle? Certainly not, but I must tell you, Graham Blundell has mounted a production of Don's Party. It opens at the Opera House soon and then tours all over Australia.
That's putting him in his place.
That's done it, yeah.
He's embarrassed.
The weather. Ah, beautiful Victoria. One day intermittent drizzle, the next day it's persistently coming down.
Brisbane can expect a fine day with a low of 14 and a high of 25. Sydney warm with a change developing 17 to 27. Canberra windy but mostly fine 8 to 19. For Melbourne a few showers developing 11 to 17. For Hobart also showers with temperatures between 10 and 16. Townsville a fine 19 to 27. Adelaide mostly fine 9 to 18. Pleasant in Perth with temperatures between 9 and 24. And for Darwin a fine warm 25 to 32.
What was all that wanting me to stand up business? Thanks.
I don't understand it. This.
Why did you want me to stand up? What?
I think.
Come on down. What? I don't understand. What's wrong? Ken, I've just... They can't sing the Chum song.
No. No, do they know the Chum song?
Do you know the Chum song? A 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5. Being a chum is fun, that is why I'm one. Always smiling, always gay, chummy at work and chummy at play. Laugh away your worries, don't be sad or glum, and everyone will know that you're a chum, chum, chum. Right, I've just been handed a late chum. Has this been checked? Yes. How many sauces? Name it.
I think it's got something to do. It's got something to do with the grand final tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. Some are yelling out Melbourne, others the Hawks.
I think the natives are revolting. My God, a late item, a major scientific breakthrough has just been announced in Tokyo, where the Hibachi Corporation has perfected the world's first microwave open fireplace. Seen as a great time saver, it will enable users to spend an entire evening in front of the fire in just 7.5 minutes. Good night.